Hey guys, so there was a 2:30 battlefield on Saturday, and I went to it with a few of my friends. Um, we managed to get this really good 4v4 against a pretty powerful team, and I wanted to show it because there's actually another Huppermage, Noah. If you've never heard of them before, you know they play a slightly different Huppermage build than me. Um, in fact, they do almost full Earth build removals. As far as I can tell, it's meant to be paired with a Poison Sedita. Now, in this fight with my guild, I managed to convince Womsky to go into a poison build, but then for this fight, he pretty much didn't use poisons. So, yeah, the fight ended up being pretty fun. And I only wanted to cast over it because in the moment, I didn't want to record. Um, any immediate commentary. Let me just turn this down a little bit. There we go. So yeah, the first turn here, we've got our Enaripsa going first. I made sure that was the case. He said that he didn't want to trans someone right away because it felt unnecessary, and I kind of agreed with him, so he just said, I'm gonna get spread some love, I think is what he said. He's just gonna put some marks down. He put some red and green marks down. Those marks are right there. I'm pointing out all the corners to keep an eye out because we actually have a few characters that can get stuck. And the turn order was really bad for cornering too. For us, I mean, our Enaripsa goes right before or right after the enemy Huppermage, so he could have possibly did some shenanigans to trap us in a corner, but the Huppermage didn't end up doing that. So, yeah, so right now the Zeller is already setting up for some damage. He's doing a Cog build. I haven't seen anyone play with Cog. Cog plus air damage build. And this actually ended up doing a decent amount of damage to us on the first turn. I mean, it's not a lot, but, you know, it's... What can you expect? He's just building up his dial. And at this point, I wasn't sure who to hit. I was kind of thinking about who should I hit. And we were saying, you know what, I think the best target right now is probably the Sedita. So, because if we take out the Sedita, their team kind of falls apart. So, there we go. Going for the Sedita. You can see I'm using that new sublimation. It's called Bloodstains. Every time I do a removal, I'm gaining 6% damage inflicted on that target for the rest of the turn. Right here, I wanted to get a little closer because I only have 1 MP left. And so on the first turn, I get a total of 36% DI. I crit a nice, almost 12k arrow on the Sedita, bringing him down to about 30%. Now the Oza, now their team's decided to go for me. Luckily, I managed to convince my Enaripsa to put a green mark on me, which I was going to mention before. Part of the reason why Enaripsa is so broken in group PvP is these marks. The marks give the Enaripsa a chance to heal outside of their turn. Like, for example, now if they get me below half HP, that green mark is going to heal me for a huge chunk. I think his heals me for like 10k, which is basically an extra 30% health. It's almost like a 10k armor, right? Because if I go below half, then I get that health, and it stays forever. The red marks, if you end next to an ally, you do a big AoE heal, and you do a big AoE heal, and those targets lose 30% heal res for a couple turns. So the marks are really OP. At this point, we're targeting the Sedita, and the enemy Oza, now he's the rank 1 Oza in, I believe it's Sufokia. And I'm not going to say he was necessarily the weakest link on their team, but you can definitely tell who the weakest link on each team is going to end up being as the fight goes on. And it's not for any reason other than circumstances. But that Beowulf is, you know, like, it's good because it protects it does half of the damage the target takes is going to go to the Beowulf. But the target is also incurable and crumbly level 5, so it's not like it's a perfect solution. And it's you know, it's a creative solution for the Oza to do that, because it's going to keep the Sedita alive here, I think. I feel like I need to make sure I don't spoil things as they happen, but it wouldn't be that interesting of a fight, I think, if the Sedita died right here. Couple of blocks. The Sedita ended up blocking a lot of stuff during this fight. And then we lost that battle right there. -2 AP on Victor. Now Victor's doing a pretty fun build I haven't seen any other Ekaflip do so far. And you'll see him use that build, not on the first turn. I think he messed up on the first turn and didn't quite get what he wanted. But you'll see what I'm talking about next turn. So the Sedita, running on 4k health, barely surviving, is going to start healing. Puts down a poison, -20 DI, and also it's going to trigger poison when we have removals on us. He also put an extra poison removal, an extra poison on the Ekaflip. He's already missing some HP, so he's kind of vulnerable. That level 5 incurable from the Beowulf on the Sedita is already, you can see it's already taking its toll, because that Sedita is on 12k health, 13k. So now our Sedita is going to... I guess he's just gonna bring in a couple of summons. He wants to heal and do some damage, but also set up his dolls, right? So basically, we're running with a Sedita that's not quite a poison build, versus who I think is hardcore, who I think is actually like a full poison build. Poison healing build, I guess. Obviously, any build on Sedita is going to be a healing build because the doll heals for so much. I mean, and that's, you know, that's like a turn 1 no-nettled doll right there that just healed for, you know, 7k. So now Noah, what okay, yeah, so you see that removal, like, you can tell, like, those removals, they definitely hurt when they stack up. So Noah's going for this AoE here, which works really well because you can target the Wisp in front of you when Green Heart to get QB back. It didn't do so much damage that either of us got deleted, and that heal was pretty good because I was on level 5 incurable to still heal for 5k. But it's expensive. You lose a lot of QB. You lose all your runes. And then here comes the Anaripsa with, you know, Anaripsa things where they just full heal people. And now our Anaripsa is actually a poison Anaripsa, so he's going to be stacking poison as this fight goes on. Trans the Osa this turn, so now they have less things they can do. Because I think the Beowulf is actually... he has a cooldown on his sacrificing spell. Now my team is going to make a bit of a mistake here and not put Incurable on the Sedita again. I mean, at this point, you know, with the Sedita missing half its HP, and then you've got an Enteripsa and a Huppermage that have their turn, and neither of them Incurable the Sedita, it is kind of a mistake. Okay, here's the Zeller. Targs is going to... and Targs, I'm sure you probably heard about him. I think he has a... I'm not sure if he has a YouTube channel. I forget who does and who doesn't, but he's going to set up this really good damage turn on me. Green Mark coming to the rescue, 10k health. It was a good thing I told Miami to put that on me, because I think I'd be, what, 9k? Probably dead, right? Yep. He ended up with a couple of AP left, but he would have gotten pretty close to killing me for sure. So now my turn, I'm thinking, well, first I got a Wisp somewhere. So I guess here is fine. And I'm going to push this doll out of the way because I want to get line of sight on this Sedita. The first thing I'm going to do is just heal myself because I'm really low and, you know, I just don't want to be low. So I'm also healing Victor with this turn. The Vestige spell, I actually have started using it a lot more because I think it's really good for Huppermage now that Bloodstains triggers. It's triggered by Bloodstains, giving you an extra 6% DI on that target whenever you do it. My Ekaflip friend there got 20% DI because I casted it twice, and the Sedita lost 20% DI on his poisons. So let's see. Of course, I'm only at like half HP. I'm not like, you know, I'm not full HP or anything. It's definitely still looking like I'm a good target. But the Echo Flip goes next. And like I said, that Beowulf isn't as useful as it was when it was a first turn summon. And the Oz is trans this turn, so now our plan is to hit the Sedita as hard as we can so we can kill it. You're going to see Victor do his fancy strategy. He was trying to decide who to use it on, and we decided on the Sedita. There it is. Universe card steals a bunch of stats. And of course, this Sedita is really tanky. So the damage ended up not being as good as we were hoping. And then he teleports over here. The Mark triggers that AoE from the Anaripsa, which is another thing I mentioned was really broken about Anaripsa, healing outside their turn. So now the Sedita's going to get his turn. He's not incurable, so we're not really getting as much out of it. The AP and MP that he received from Noah is helping him out here, because he would be, what, 7 AP, 3 MP at the start of his turn instead. And also, he gained resistance as well from that spell. Probably keeping, and I mean that extra 5k health, right? Like, that kept the Sedita alive. Now, I personally don't take that spell because I feel like it's just too expensive. But for some reason also on Noah, I'm seeing like that red spark thing with that sound effect. I don't actually remember what that is. If anybody knows what that is, I feel like I don't remember what that is. So yeah, at this point we were thinking, I guess they're trying to block Womsky off, but Womsky's just like, nah, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna... What he decided to do was summon his own ultra powerful, and also spread out the AoE a little bit. Of course, the Mark AoE heal again. And now Ultra Powerful's gonna go and do some stuff. He decides to hit the Zeller twice, which I thought was interesting. And then hits the Sedita once. And then does some minus range and minus MP. Now, Noah also uses Blood Carapace. Well, he'll lose, what, 4,300 HP, and then gain 6,000 armor. But yeah, then you see they swap, they teleport over, and now they got this passive where just placing the Wisp pulls things in, and then they're going to go for this nice big AoE heal on both those targets. Okay, now my Any is going to do Anaripsa things, probably put some new marks down. I mean, there you go, he misclicks. I remember that was pretty funny. Nice big AoE damage buff. And incurable, finally. Now at this point, we're looking at this, like... we're looking at this AoE that is available on us with the Zeller, and we're next to the Cog, and we're thinking, well, that's not good. So Targs is gonna, I mean, obviously go for the best AoE he can see, because it's right there. And I was at this point thinking, well, we definitely need to not let this happen, because it's kind of scary how much damage is going to happen now. Luckily, he had no, see, yeah, look how close that was. Like, that was a lot of damage. So then I'm thinking, well, you know what else I can do here is, you know, I can do my little AoE heal too. So I'm deciding, you know what, so how am I going to do this? I need to make sure I get the right runes. So I'm getting all 4 runes, and I'm placing the water rune, the water wisp, getting my rune back, then realizing I can rock slide here to proc alternation and steal AP and MP, and then doing that, now we're all full, just like that. And then I have 2 AP. I'm gonna take some MP off that Oza. So I think the Oza, he's like 1 MP. Yeah, but now it's time for him to switch out that summon. So now after kind of examining this Oza build, it looks like he's just playing like full support. Also, I understand it's Lady Kyoto, but I actually don't know. I don't really know anybody outside my guild, so I don't know who's actually a girl or a guy. So I just kind of say he for everyone. Until I know. So that tree is really funny because he can actually do some pretty big armoring. And I think he just thought, yay, I'm gonna go for armor on this doll just to keep it alive. But also I feel like the tree could have walked back and gave that to the Sedita as well. I don't know why he didn't do that. And then also blocked off the Echo Flip's reach to the Sedita. Yeah, that universe card is really oppressive because it steals 4 range, 3 MP, 2 AP, and 1 Wonku point, and then the Echo Flip gets all those stats. So that Sedita is like constantly -4 range for the whole fight. As you can see there, I got like a C rank, so my wings don't really get that big. I just go here for the fun PvP and the challenging PvP. But yeah, so that universe card, I mean, I can only imagine being this Sedita right now with level 5 incurable, -4 range, missing AP, missing MP, low on walkthrough points, trying to figure out what to do. And he spends the last of his walkthrough points on that. Because he wants to poison because the whole strategy here was to use the Huppermage to do damage with removals and poison. Of course, our Anaripsa poisons are deleting. I think Hardcore has guard up. I don't know for sure. I think that little green leaf icon, I'm pretty sure that's guard up. And I think they use what's it called? Blood Carapace. So now at this point you can see the battlefield. We only have 14 minutes left. Not much progress has been made. I mean, obviously the Sedita is still the most vulnerable. And here I'm thinking we need to get rid of this AoE. Like, I'm tired of this. The AoE needs to be moved. So you can see that the Sedita and Anaripsa in this fight are both using the new added value passive sublimation. What they get out of it is an extra 40% poison damage, a -40% direct damage. So essentially a lot of extra damage for an Anaripsa. And right here, that Sedita is toast. And that's their only revive, so at this point, you know, we're up 1 guy. Huppermage goes next. So here, I was trying to figure out what Noah's plan was. But it looks like, yeah, trying to push into the corner, but then There's nothing to, like, block the Anarusa in with. And I think Noah already used... I mean, and at this point, they're just thinking, just go for damage. Unfortunately for them, the poison has run out because the Sedita is knocked out. But now Noah's just like, I'm going to light arrow him. 15k damage. And I was checking, I was like, wow, I didn't notice that Victor was down to 77% resist there. Green mark, pretty good to keep Victor alive, but at this point I'm thinking, and my Anarups almost didn't notice, you have to be above 50% HP for the green mark to proc, so I was like, wait, make sure you heal him over 50. But also, you know, with the Zealor going next and that dial built up to 2 stacks already, at this point I'm thinking, you know, I'm not actually sure Victor can live, but I'm like, well, maybe if you sacrifice the Coney on him, maybe he'll live. Just like go here and sacrifice the Coney on him. But yeah, so again, about that new sublimation that I think all Huppermages are going to need to start using. It's called Bloodstains, Bloodstains 3, and you're going to get, every time you make a removal, you're going to get 60i on that target for this turn. So that counts AP, MP, range, damage inflicted, and Wafu points. So Huppermage actually has spells to do all that except minus Wafu. And right here, I was thinking, I hope he really goes closer to me so I can get up behind him and hit him. But he ends up just kind of going here and hiding his back. So then I make a pretty decent mistake right here. Now that Victor is dead, I'm thinking, well, I gotta make a comeback, right? Now that Zealor is pretty vulnerable. I didn't check his resistance. I make a pretty decent mistake right here, but it's not like it ends the run for us. I'm looking at him, 85% resistance is a lot. That's a lot of resistance. I'm thinking, can I kill him? Maybe. And I'm like, did you see right there how I could have walked past him? I realized after this fight that I could have pushed the Sinistro and got backstab, but at this point I was just like, I think I'm running out of time, which I wasn't. I could have absolutely done more damage here, and he lives on like 3k. So if I had gone backstab, I mean, I ended up critting, I think, 11k on 85% resistance from the side, which is a lot. But I absolutely could have killed the Zealor right there, so I made a decent mistake. But it ended up not really mattering too much, and you'll see that later. But yeah, you can see I also didn't even combo my turn that well. I'm supposed to light arrow as late as possible with Bloodstains because I can get more DI for light arrow as long as I use it as late in the turn as possible. So what you want to do is, like I did, backband, maybe then rock slide, shiny orbs, rock slide, and then light arrow, if that's how much AP I have. Or if I have more, then I could backband, shiny orbs, rock slide, light arrow, and that ends up giving me, you know, 30% DI for my light arrow instead of, I think I ended up with like 16, was it 18%? Okay, so now it's back to our turn. You can see it didn't really matter that I didn't finish off the Zealor because now our Sedita has a doll that can just walk right up and tap him and finish him off. I need Womsky on poison. Yeah, I mean, that would have been really nice to have Womsky on poison, but I think this build is just fine. I don't see anything wrong with just, you know, just playing normal Sedita. Nothing different. Even if you've got, you know, an Echo Flip that can steal MP, AP, range, and walkthrough points, and then that all triggers Bloodstains, and I think a couple of those, 3 of those trigger the poisons, and then Huppermage, which can trigger it multiple times with its spells. So at this point, I mean, it's looking pretty good for us. We're only down one guy and they're down two. But it's not quite over yet because Noah still has a turn. And yeah, that's a really cool strategy to get backstab on someone. And yeah, as you can see, the strategy for this Huppermage build is to just go full melee, Earth, Heart, as many removals as possible. And at this point, we're just thinking, can we win this fight in 6 minutes? Because we only have 6 minutes before it ends. So we're basically playing on a timer. So back to my turn. I think at this point, yeah, Kyoto realizes it's kind of doomed. I'm going to get all 4 of my runes, get my water rune back. Just go for as much damage as I can. I didn't have to do 2 Vestiges there, but I wanted to because I felt like it. Vestige is usually the best damage you can do at the end of your turn like that if you don't have any other light spell to use. And I could have just done Resonance, but I think 2 Vestiges does more damage. I didn't check Kyoto's resistance, but I think it was because he's like a full tank support Oza. I think he actually is pretty high resistance, like 80, probably 85 or 86% right now. Five minutes left. And so, yeah, you know, with that new Bloodstained Sublimation, I think Huppermage probably is, you know, is going to be on the board for being a pretty top-tier PvP class. Because, like I said, you can just, you know, do whatever you want. A ton of damage. Removals, look at that. Bloodstains, 24%, 30%, 36%. Couple of shiny orbs. Yeah, like that's, I mean, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with the full Earth build. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you have a Sedita, you can go for the AoE stuff, but yeah, like the damage is really good on Huppermage. As long as you've got, you know, Bloodstains and you're using Profit to get AP back, it's pretty great. So there was the fight. It was a really good fight. I thought it kind of felt pretty close for a while. The only good fight that we got at the battlefield. I thought the builds that we fought against were pretty cool. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video, and check around later for more stuff. Hopefully I'll have time to upload more stuff. GG.